allspice to be run here at the 2020 NFL Scouting Combine. And first up, here we go. The first 40 is a 4.8 flat.
He stumped
for him in Oakland. Breakout season. A great story in the NFL. Here's Harrison Bryant with a 4.74.
Master tight ends in the group here. Hunter Bryant can roll.
From Washington. .475. Bryson Hopkins of Purdue.
He's got NFL bloodlines with his father, Brad, who's a Pro Bowl offensive lineman for the Titans.
Thus his hometown of Nashville, Tennessee. By way of here in Indiana, Purdue. .467.
It's a great time.
That's the best time yet. 4.67 right there for TE6. There's Joe talking to Chris Carter.
Ohio State.
Dalton Keene, Hokie.
This kid's interesting.
Why is that?
Well, they line him up as kind of an H-back, and he's flexed out in the slot. Then they also put him in the back, ready to roll at 7 a.m.
Cole Kmet, Notre Dame, 4.7 flat.
It's a really good time for his size.
Oh, right, that's where
we're going Alberto. Whoa.
4.49. Actually, that's an Albert Whoa.
258
right
pounds, running sub 4.5.
Okuye Bunam getting it done. Colby Parkinson with a 4.78. Now,
He's not a little dude. 6'5.5", 258 pounds.
As you're watching Jared Pinkney run here, it's a 5 flat.
So Justin Herbert out of Oregon, is this going to be a 3-quarterback race? Can you get yourself in the conversation? He had a great Senior Bowl. He was the MVP.
Scale. Alberto is a 10.
I'll tell you what.
Look at Sullivan's time at 4.66 is another great time.
For Coach O. Right. So the 40-yard and 3-inch 40 is 4.75.
He's a good player too. He's kind of that H-back move guy. He's great after the catch. Breaks a ton of kid has once he gets to the next level.
It goes.
He's straining a little bit.
4.79. Okay, so we've got 3 more first 40s. Mitchell Wilcox. There running his 40-yard dash.
He's a great special teams player.
4.88. We'll be seeing Jacob Fromm later on. 4.75. 4.79, pardon me. It's Tennessee right there.
Duval.
4.94. Ossie, who you said stumbled the first time and seemed disappointed in his run, and he does improve it.
Yeah, you got cleaner. He's a real fluid mover. When we see him in the field workout, you're going to see how athletic and fluid he is.
Nice fluid 40 there. 4.77, however. He'll stick with his first run. These run if back live. So it's like if you're a Bearcat, you're a tight end.
You got to beard it up, man.
You got to beard it up. You got to go. I mean, it does look like he's going full Kelsey here, doesn't he?
And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, was this kid against UCLA after an interception, running about 70 yards down the field to make the tackle.
4.74. Hopkins. 4.67 his first time.
I know he can run. I want to see him in the field workout, just be a little more consistent catching the football. Drops were a little bit of an issue for him this fall.
4.75, so he'll stick with his first run. Dalton Keene coming up.
Drew's coming back.
2. Here's Dalton Keene. 4.72. Kim Jones, take it away. We'll be talking about it quite a bit, obviously, when Joe Burrow is out there, even though we're not going to see him throw. But LSU's offense So there's some room for improvement here.
I didn't think he was super explosive when I studied him. He tracks the ball really well. Real slippery after the catch, can make you miss.
It was just for show, which there's many weeks left for everyone to opine on that subject. 4.49 and 4.5 flat. I mean, that's what Albert O runs, man. That's a fast tight end here.
He was driving.
Our first simulcam of the 2020 NFL Scouting Combine, presented by the final 40s of tight ends at the 2020 Scouting Combine. Colby Parkinson and the Stanford man, Jared Pinkney. 5 flat the first time.
He's a physical player.
We're surprised by the 4.66 of Stephen Sullivan.
Well, he was a receiver, but where his weight is right now, as he's moving to tight end, that's a...
Taumapea, Portland State. Stick with the first time, again unofficial. Adam Troutman. 4.79.
I started calling him the Colonel, but they're apparently...
Mitchell Wilcox. That's live. And that's...
Well, keep watching a little bit, and I believe this is the last 40 for a tight end in the 2020 draft. Rich Eisen, take it away.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Don Smith before the Titans-Patriots playoff game. A lot of people thought it was just, you know, Bill talking up the competition, but here is Josiah DeGuara, Cincinnati.
This should be comfortable scrimmage. They're used to being out in space and catching the ball down the field.
Keene.
He did not have his hand down very much when you watch him there at Virginia Tech, so nice job.
If you will, these are the throwing quarterback. Combine?
Yeah, I wasn't quite good enough to be a throwing quarterback. I was a just stay away from here quarterback.
It's just like when you hear the phrase throwing quarterbacks, like well, kind of what else do they, you know? Unam. That is his.
Been practicing during the break.
Well, it's straight from his with Albert O. Here's Jared Pinkney.
That's a difficult catch. As a former receiver, this should be a piece of cake there for Sullivan.
DJ.
Well, there was one missing in New England. I think people would point to quarterbacks, trying to surround some of those young quarterbacks with some easy completions. I think for the tight end group, to me, I think in that 4th, 5th round is kind of where you want to target with some of these guys.
And again, I don't know this group up very much. That said, what the Ravens, multiple tight ends at a time, has that. Obviously, you need to have somebody in Lamar Jackson who can just to go from 4 wins to the Super Bowl.
Again, bring it down. Now, again, here's the coaching point. Again,
this is new to the scouting combine.
Keep going. Good. Drop it, all right?
He repeated the line. Kevin Aussie. Sled guys, right?
Break,
And at the top of your screen is I'm a sled resetter.
He's a resetter. Yeah, keep your hands there. His hands slip. What this is supposed to look like. The challenge is a bunch of these guys, as you can see, they're not comfortable with this. If you can roll in there.
Drive. Break, good.
Nice job by Hopkins.
Maintain that leverage now.
Workshop Fred the sled.
You don't like Fred? Well, I'll take it. Anybody has a better idea, I'll take it.
That was well done by Dalton Keene.
Nice job.
In the mix. Komet can do this.
Called Komet.
Break, good.
When the offensive linemen do this, Rich, it'll sound different. He's
break. Good. Use your hands more.
120 pounds when he got to Stanford. Coach Shaw wanted to redshirt him. He made so many plays in camp in town for some NCAA meetings, so I think we might get a chance to see him. Sullivan doesn't have hardly any experience here.
That's it. Drive.
That's not bad.
Good. Drive. Break. Good.
His hand.
Strike. That's it. Drive.
There you go.
That's good.
Break. Good.
That's the best we've seen.
Time.
Sled.
Give yourself a little neutral zone. Right there. Here we go. Strike with leverage. Strike. Stop. Good. Don't leverage.
If you are
That's it. Drive.
having issues with the drill lifting, shouldn't you just pose?
See, I was looking at this drill thinking you've probably got about 5 more years of full.
It'll be fine. If I gave you the choice that part of your would include having a fracture named after you, like the Jeremiah fracture.
No,
Jones
that's big
fracture.
for him. Yeah.
Cowboys fans are hoping
Bobby?
Dak doesn't have it. I mean, I don't know. Go, Bobby.
My big guess is Bobby. I don't know.
Well, either way, it's a good thing that
I don't get with the Deuce Staley drill once we get to running backs.
God bless Jack Andrade, our NFL Network researcher to our left. What's his name? Dr. Robert Jones, orthopedic surgeon in 1902. So that's my fracture, and name it then.
And
take it away.
All right, Rich Eisen, thank you very much. As we continue with the tight end drills down there on the field, Charles Davis.
I think it's gonna be a little bit of a wheel, I believe.
Wheel around, okay.
Run, there you go. Coach it.
No, it is a corner route. You're right, Rich. Good. There you go. That pull more under that ball. Harrison Bryant. That's a great track and catch over his shoulder, playing for Lane Kiffin down a lot out in the slot and really worked down the field a lot. Used him on a bunch of, was able to get a lot of separation. These guys are a lot more comfortable in these drills than they were with the sled, that's for sure. That's a great ball too. Good job by the throwing quarterback.
Out there.
Telling Komet. Who was that again, Rich?
Call McDonald. He's working out with Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I saw throwing it around.
Sense all their.
Cincinnati Bengal does not put it to bed for me. The fact of saying I'm going to go wherever I'm picked is not for me.
Well, it's a vast improvement from if they take me, they take me. But the use of the word leverage.
If you keep going, questions are not going to go away. So he kind of found a nice middle ground there.
Well, all reports are that he crushed it in the interview with the Bengals. So he did.
Talking to coaches around the league, the tweet was well received. They loved his tweet after.
Okay.
Red zone fade here, a little goal line fade.
In other words, one of the most maddening, if potentially.
Play-by-play guys are not a big fan of this because they rail on it.
Close to the field, right? And you're just flipping it up in the air, and
It's literally the end zone here. They put pylons to simulate the back of the end zone, and the pylon here at the top. You get both your feet down, locate it. There you go. You got to release it at the line of scrimmage. I want you to give you a little high point it.
It's getting more practical.
I like it. The only thing I would say on this was down here in this area, then this loft fades. And
Maybe get a pylon cam out there, right?
Troutman's very athletic. It should be good for him.
Dig, stay in. Nice step. Just work, squeeze. Work the release, there you go.
He wants to buy a little time for your quarterback with your release. Little stutter step.
Careful now. Round of applause. They will be heading off to their pro days. Their scouting combine is done. The first position group to get out on the field is the first to hit the road.
So that's it.